So the Knives Out 3 cast is really starting to shape up and come into form, with Jeremy Renner being the latest addition to the cast. This announcement got a lot of people thinking, because as we saw in Knives Out 1 and Knives Out 2, there's definitely a connection with the killer and an MCU star. Spoilers ahead for Knives Out and Glass Onion. In Knives Out, of course, you have Chris Evans as Ransom being the killer in that film. I mean, he ultimately doesn't do the killing, but he's the one switching the drugs, trying to orchestrate it, make it all happen. Then in Glass Onion, initially you think it's Batista, who obviously plays Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, who is the killer. But then, of course, we find out it was a big ploy, a big scheme by Ed Norton the entire time, which a lot of people forget. He was the Incredible Hulk. He was the original Hulk in the MCU before they recast him for Mark Ruffalo. So now that Jeremy Renner's joining Knives Out 3, it's looking a little suspicious, because we saw Captain America Knives Out being the culprit, and the second one we saw Drax be the fake culprit, but actually the Hulk being the real culprit. This time around, is it really going to be Hawkeye? Obviously, the entire cast hasn't come into form, hasn't been announced at this point yet, but I'm not going to predict that Jeremy Renner's going to be the killer. I feel like that's too predictable at this point. I'm going to predict Andrew Scott, an incredible actor, really starting to come into form, really starting to hit his stride. I think he'd be a great choice to be the killer.